Katy had always loved summers by the coast. There was something about the salty air, the sound of waves crashing against the shore, and the lazy heat of the South Carolina sun that made her feel alive. But this summer was different. It wasn't just a vacation or a break from her busy life. It was an escape, a chance to clear her head after graduating from college and stepping into a world that felt too big, too uncertain. Her aunt's beachside house, with its weathered shutters and wraparound porch, had always been a safe haven. Katy spent her mornings helping out at her aunt's little cafe, a cozy spot with mismatched furniture and the best iced lattes in town. Afternoons were for reading on the porch or wandering along the beach, toes sinking into the hot sand. It was a quiet, predictable life, exactly what she thought she needed. Until Claire walked in. The first time Katy saw her, Claire was leaning casually against the cafe's counter, ordering an iced coffee with a grin that could light up a stormy sky. She was tall, with sun-kissed skin, and short, tousled hair that looked like she'd just stepped off a surfboard. Her lifeguard uniform, red shorts and a white tank top, revealed toned arms and legs that spoke of long hours in the sun. Claire caught Katy staring and flashed her a crooked smile. "Do you recommend the mocha or the vanilla?" Katy fumbled for words, her cheeks flushing. The mocha. Definitely. From that moment, Claire became a regular at the cafe, always finding an excuse to linger and chat with Katy. At first, their conversations were casual, about the best surf spots, local gossip, or the tourists who flocked to the beach every summer. But as the days turned into weeks, their talks grew deeper. Claire shared stories about her childhood in the town, her love for the ocean, and her dream of traveling the world. Katy found herself opening up in ways she hadn't expected, telling Claire about her struggles with figuring out her future and her fears of letting people down. There was something about Claire that made Katy feel seen, truly seen, in a way she hadn't felt in years. One evening, as the sun began to dip below the horizon, Claire invited Katy to meet her on the beach after work. Katy spent extra time getting ready, choosing a beige skirt that swayed softly with every step, and a sleeveless white top that accentuated her figure without being too revealing. She let her hair down, its natural waves catching the last rays of sunlight as she walked toward the shore. Claire was already there, barefoot, and dressed in denim shorts and a loose-fitting tank top. She turned at the sound of Katy's footsteps and smiled, her eyes lighting up as they took her in. "You look incredible," Claire said, her voice soft but sincere. Katy smiled shyly, feeling a warmth rise in her chest. "Thanks. You don't look so bad yourself." They walked side by side along the shoreline, the waves lapping gently at their feet. The heat of the day had mellowed into a golden warmth, and the sky was painted in shades of orange and pink. For a while, they didn't speak, letting the sound of the ocean fill the silence. Finally, Claire stopped and turned to face Katy. Her expression was serious, her usual playful demeanor replaced by something more vulnerable. "Katy," she began, her voice tinged with nervousness, "there's something I need to tell you." Katy's heart skipped a beat. "What is it?" Claire hesitated, her gaze dropping to the sand before meeting Katy's eyes. "I like you. More than a friend should. I've liked you since the day I met you. But I didn't know how to say it. I was scared you wouldn't feel the same way." For a moment, Katy was silent, her thoughts racing. But then she realized the answer had been clear all along. in the way her heart fluttered every time Claire smiled at her, in the way she felt safe and alive when they were together. Without a word, Katy stepped closer and pressed her lips to Claire's. The kiss was tentative at first, soft and unsure, but it quickly deepened as Claire's arms wrapped around Katy's waist, pulling her closer. Katy's fingers found their way to Claire's shoulders, holding on as the world around them seemed to fade away. There was only the sound of the waves, the warmth of their bodies, and the feeling of finally letting go. When they pulled apart, Claire's forehead rested against Katy's, both of them smiling. "Come back to my place," Claire whispered, her voice low and inviting. Katy nodded, her heart pounding in anticipation. Claire's beachside house was small but cozy, filled with the scent of salt air and the faint aroma of coconut from her sunscreen. The moment they stepped inside, Claire pulled Katy into another kiss, this one more urgent. Her hands slid to the hem of Katy's sleeveless top, lifting it slowly as their lips never broke contact. Katy let the top fall to the floor, her breath hitching as Claire's hands found her waist, tracing the curve of her hips. The beige skirt followed, pooling at her feet, as Claire stepped back to admire her. "You're beautiful," Claire murmured, her voice filled with awe. Katy blushed but didn't look away. Instead, she reached for the hem of Claire's shirt, pulling it over her head to reveal a toned body bronzed by the sun. They tumbled onto the bed, their laughter mingling with quiet gasps as their hands explored each other's bodies. Every kiss, every touch, every whispered word felt like a revelation, as if they were discovering parts of themselves they hadn't known existed. Katy's fingers traced the lines of Claire's shoulders, her back, her arms, memorizing every detail. Claire's lips left a trail of kisses along Katy's neck, her collarbone, her stomach, igniting a fire that consumed them both. The night stretched on, filled with soft moans and the rustle of sheets. The world outside seemed to disappear, leaving only the two of them, lost in each other. When it was over, they lay tangled in the sheets, their bodies warm and glowing. Claire's arm was draped over Katy's waist, her fingers gently brushing against her skin. "This summer, I never expected it to turn out like this," Katy said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Like what?" Claire asked, her lips brushing against Katy's hair. "Like falling in love," Katy admitted, looking up at her with a shy smile. Claire's eyes softened, and she leaned down to press a gentle kiss to Katy's forehead. "Then, I guess it's the best kind of surprise." Katy closed her eyes, her heart full and at peace. As the sound of the waves drifted in through the open window, she knew one thing for certain. This summer, this love, would stay with her forever.